Well, Jim, we'll start with Tuesday night. It was a frustrating night for everyone, really. What do you feel went wrong for the team?
Yeah, it was disappointing. We obviously had a late withdrawal, which meant we had to sort of change the team slightly. But I still felt that we wanted to sort of play a certain way, and we had a bit of flexibility. But I think we left ourselves quite vulnerable early on. To our wing backs were flying out position and leaving us 3v3, and the holding midfielders weren't overly protecting. So it took us a while to adapt and get our shape. But as the game went on, we didn't feel that they were going to create an awful lot. But on the other side of it, we never looked like we were going to create a lot. And then I think we got caught between which way to play, whether to play or whether to be more functional and direct. But as an old mentor of mine, Maury Price, once said that without techniques, there's no tactics. So whether it be a goal kick, corner, or you want to play short, you want to play long, you've got no tactics if you've got people who can't deliver the right techniques. And I thought that on the night we were pretty poor technically in terms of when we did decide to do something, that we didn't do it very well. Whether that be a shot, whether that be a corner, goal kick, pass short, pass long, it seemed quite ragged, the performance. And you've got to give them a little bit of credit because they were pressing hard and they were making it difficult to make passes easy. But I was really disappointed because there wasn't many players that gave a good account of themselves.
I suppose when you look back and analyse the game, it was a game of very few clear-cut chances for either side, as you said. Is there a bit of frustration that the goal that did come came from our own making, really?
Yeah, that's where, and it's a disappointing one for Jordan because, again, people are going to jump on him. I heard a few people jumping on him as if it was his fault for the goal at Barnet, which it wasn't. The wing-back tucks in and defends when needed. And he's done brilliant to actually get into a great recovery position. Because we looked very vulnerable down that side. Every time they went down that side, they looked like they were going to get through. That wasn't all down to Mark Kitchens struggling with the one-on-one duel with Boldewin. It was there wasn't much wrap around from the centre halves to protect that side. There wasn't great depth and cover from the holding midfielders. But Jordan did brilliant to get into that position, and then, like I said, perhaps tried to not give away a cheap set play and caused us a bit of a problem. And then that quick transition meant that everybody was caught off guard, and it was a poor way to lose the game effectively. But I still think that we had plenty of time and plenty of players and options to be able to come back into the side. And I was very disappointed second half when I made the changes and asked Connor and Adam to come on, and and I took out maybe the players that weren't really helping us defend or attack. But I just thought that we didn't do enough in terms of work ethic, in terms of good solid play, good decision making, and we never really gave ourselves a platform to get anything out of the game. So once you're 1-0 down, that's always going to be a difficult task to turn that result around. But I felt the players, if they'd stuck to the task and played a little bit better, a draw would have been a great result. But yeah, we come away not just disappointed with the performance, but bitterly disappointed with the result.
You've spoken about fatigue potentially being an issue in the last couple of weeks. Does that come from the stop-start nature of the league at the minute? I mean, you go back to last Saturday, another game called off. Is it difficult to get a rhythm going at the minute?
I can't blame fatigue on this particular game. I think we obviously, if we'd had a really high-intensity game on a Saturday and they didn't, then you could put down fatigue. We sort of had to shuffle training really late, so it was disappointing that Sutton called the game off on a Saturday morning, which meant we couldn't plan to train Saturday. But I can't use fatigue. I felt that we've got a group of players, and on paper as individuals they're as good as Notts County. But I thought in terms of connecting between each other, whether that's the coaching side of it or whether that's just them building relationships, if Richie Bennett can form a relationship with Reedy like he did against Barnet, you're going to get goals. If John can connect with them, we're going to get goals. If we can get the side defenders and the full-backs working, wing-backs working well together, or the wing-backs working with the inside forwards, two midfielders balancing off John and giving him some support. But I thought we were bereft of a lot of things, and a lot of people start making simple assumptions about what, you know, it's a lack of effort, it's fatigue, it's you know, it was the shape, it was this. There were so many things wrong with the game in terms of people not winning their aerial duels, people not tracking people, people selling themselves, people giving away fouls, giving away sloppy possession. There was so many things wrong in the game. It's one of them where you come away thinking we've got a lot of work to do, but we know that a lot of that will correct itself. But a lot of coaching today to get, if you like, to get away from the excuses that they feel they might have because of the structure or the shape. And now we have to do, I always think that I'll coach well, but they have to play well.
When you think about the fixtures that are now backing up a lot, another one on Saturday, how important or how much of a priority is the FA Trophy now going into this weekend?
It's a hard one because you can't dilute any competition. Each competition has their value in terms of it's the next game. It gives you a chance to correct some performance issues from the previous one, maybe introduce a couple of options to the team. I think that we're at a stage now, given the intensity of the programme and the intensity of the programme we're going to be, it would be natural to give people an opportunity. And that's not disrespecting the competition, but that's looking at a game that's a good challenge, if you like, similar to what we had in pre-season, a really good team that's going to ask questions of us, going to be up for the game. But I think there's a time now for us to give a few people a well-earned rest, give a couple of players the extra minutes that they need. You know, with the first team programme, we don't have an opportunity to play friendlies. Lots of teams can't play friendlies, or the standard of the opposition, the standard of the pitches we go to won't be good enough to get what we want out of it. So it's a perfect opportunity for us to make some changes. You know, we've got a fully fit squad. We've got a lot of lads who are chomping at the bit. They've been training really well, those that have not been playing. So maybe it's time now to freshen up the group and, like you said, freshen up the whole atmosphere about the group, because we've got some that are probably look tired and cranky and a little bit, the edge has gone off them, and there's others who are bouncing, enthusiastic, wanting to play and look like they've got like the sharpness and the skill set. So hopefully by the time we play Hartlepool, we'll have everybody in a much better place after this week.
And what are you hoping to see from the players that do come into the team? What do they need to do to stake their claim for a start against Hartlepool on Tuesday?
Well, all I'm looking for is that, you know, we've had a sort of 10-game review, and, you know, lots of people that know me from way back when know that my teams have a certain identity. And I think that in the last 10 league games, we've been very proud of that. We've got the best disciplinary record. We've not conceded a goal from a foul. We've not conceded a penalty. We've not had a red card. We've not conceded from a corner in those 10 league games. We've got the best defensive record in the league. In terms of goal conceded, obviously subject to the balancing off of the games played. We talk about the high priority of certain scenarios like low crosses, and we're seeing all them. So we've delivered, if you like, on our cultural identity, on our thing. One of the things we've talked about is flexible systems, being able to shift, and that's not playing one system or another, that's being able to shift our shape to the different threats we're going to have, from aggressive full-backs, wing-backs, floating centre forwards, whatever it might be. And I think that we've still got work to do that. We've still got a lot of work to do on retention from set plays the other night. Our goal kicks, our throw-ins, our set plays from the middle third were all pretty poor. So there's a lot of work to be done, but there's a lot of players, to answer your question, there's a lot of players that I think have to realise what they are, what their identity is, and what they bring to the table. If that's goals, if it's assists, if it's getting behind defences, if it's keeping clean sheets, stopping crosses, they need now to up their game and deliver on what the package they bring. And so in that regard, the players that come in, whether that be the keeper, we'd be looking for you know, solid shot stopping, good catching, good organised defence, good distribution, and it goes right for the team. Full-backs, defending 1v1, stopping crosses, getting up the pitch, getting crosses in, all the way up to the forwards, goals, assists, getting us up the pitch, marking people on set plays, being a presence. So there's lots of things. So I wouldn't be looking for us to play a certain way, or I'm looking for a win. Too simplistic. I'm looking for everybody to show me what they're about, up their skill set, be effective on the pitch, not just a good footballer who plays good football, but know how to use your football to win games, how to make the team more effective. And those players that are effective are the ones that will play on Tuesday and play much more games over the coming months and for the rest of the season.
Obviously, looking at Guiseley, they're a team we know very well from recent years and recent meetings. They're having a bit of a tough time of it at the minute in the National League North. So, what sort of threat are you expecting from them on Saturday?
It was kind of, I wouldn't. They were the type of team that, on paper, I thought that they were well equipped. Now, like every team, they've got to be careful with COVID and financial implications of not having crowds. So they've got to be very, very careful about how much they invest. So maybe a lot of teams are being a little bit cautious about paying out for those extra players. But they've still got a very good group of players. You know, the two guys there always have the teams well organised. They can read the game and they can adjust their team. We've seen that. We started on fire at their place and caused them all sorts of problems. But they were a completely different team second half. They learnt the lessons and made it really difficult for a second half and stopped our strengths and played to their strengths, which is players like Keane Felix. But yeah, all I can do is look at the league table and you think, okay, but you know, if you're Peterborough and you look at Chorley's league form, you think you've got a banker. And teams don't always play that way. Some teams know how to defend well and counter-attack. And I think that Guiseley are that type of side. I think they're not going to go and dominate possession. They're not going to go and, you know, last year their results were far better against the higher placed teams where they could absorb pressure and break than they were against the teams that down there with them that they probably are expected to go and win based upon budgets or league position. So I think they're a dangerous team to play at Edgeley Park because they will make it difficult for us to score. They will have a threat. And they'll be very much on their guard after the pre-season performance. They'll know a bit about us the same way we know about them. But yeah, forget league form. I think they'll be hungry and determined to put on a show at Edgeley Park and to get something out of the game. Sometimes when your league form isn't great, these games become a huge boost to your confidence and you have a greater appetite for these games because you see it as a real tangible platform for you to show what you're about. Similar to our players at Rochdale, their players have been wanting to. So it'll give them a lift. What's important for us, it doesn't drag us down and our players, they get an opportunity, they get to play in this game. See it as an opportunity to not just practice for the success what we want in the league, but also places are up grab for the FA Cup third round game and throughout the season. And I want our players to play with the appetite and enthusiasm as if this means everything to them the way it would to them.